So I'm here with Wendy, all right? I'm at Latrobe Chevrolet in lovely Latrobe, Pennsylvania. How do you pronounce it?
Latrobe.
Some people say
Latrobe.
You pushed yourself into a position of sales manager, and then in the general sales manager, okay? And here you are now. And it all started in F&I. And by the way, you were a very successful F&I manager, all right? Let's talk about F&I first, okay? For all the F&I folks out there, and you've been doing F&I forever, what would you say is the one area where you feel F&I managers should focus on for the greatest success, or technique or process?
There's two that I focused on. One is attitude, and two is professionalism. Because I wanted my guys to look at me as the go-to person to answer their questions. So I never wanted to give them an answer that was incorrect. I never wanted to say, I don't know. I might not know it, but I will get you the correct answer. So I earned their trust that way. An attitude, you have to set the tone. And I looked at my salespeople as my customers too, because they're getting beat up going to the desk. They need a break when they come into my office.
That's a really good point. And one of the things that you said was you got to earn respect. I got to tell you something. One of the first things I noticed when I walked in here 3.5 years ago is that you had the respect of everybody.
Thank you.
No, there's no question about it. And I think one of the reasons that we pushed along with you to put you in a position of running the store along with Lud is because of your not only intensity level, but the fact that people respected what you had to say, you know? And yeah, it's true. I mean, and you did treat it, I can't remember a time when I came in this office and you were like, I can't remember a time when you were like, oh man, you took a deal and made something out of it. And I think one of the things I wanted to get from you, because I've seen it, I witnessed it myself, is how involved you were on every deal.
I got involved at the beginning of every day. In fact, I hung out in the desk office.
We promote that all the time, and that's one of the things I wish you had said, but I've seen it myself, okay? I saw how involved you were, and the results showed, you know? When I first came in here, the only thing that we changed to help you to increase your PVR was the menu. The verbiage on the menu is the only thing we did, and I brought in tell them, you know, don't sell them, tell them, and the results are showing. Profits are up, PVR is up, product sales are up. You're consistent month in and month out. Your finance team, which consists of your sister and the dealer's daughter, but you're still involved in the finance. It's like that's something you can't let go of.
I can't. No, I probably never will.
It's like I can't just focus on selling the car. I got to be involved in the finance too.
But when I was in finance, my desk manager at that time loved me being down there because it takes some of the pressure off of them too, because it becomes a team effort to put a deal together, and you become a think tank together instead of just one person's opinion on how to get a deal put together.
I couldn't have put in any better term what you just said. But we've been trying to push that message forever, and I think the way you just said it, the think tank, and you know, ease into the deal. That's exactly what we promote. That's exactly what we talk about, and it was already here. It was already here. So now you move into, it all began with you're a sales manager or you're general sales. We don't know what you are. All we know is you're out of finance and now you're in that desk, right? And now we hire this guy Joe and like, oh my God, what do we do now? And who's the boss? And who's the boss? And I remember having a conversation with Bud and saying, we gotta make a boss, man. It's gotta be a boss. You know, and I hate the word boss because you were the leader. You still are the leader, okay, of this team outside of, all right, you'll always be in my eyes the leader of this team. You're meant, and it's like I admire the stamina you have, and you know, like the non-prejudiced, and I'm gonna help this guy, we're gonna make this thing work. I know other people out there that would like, well, we'll give it, I'm not, you know, in the situation that you were in, I admire how you handled it, and certainly how you came out of it smelling like a rose. You know what I mean?
I hope so.
No, and everything's working out really well. It's awesome. So what advice would you give to those now, in your position you're in now, sales management? What advice would you give folks that are just getting into sales management? Or what areas would you suggest, especially now that we're in a different, you know, not a different time, but trying to get back to the way things were. What is the biggest frustration you see right now? Outside of maybe inventory and stuff like that, but
lead handling.
Lead
handling.
And you recently, a month ago, had a conversation with your lead, and I remember talking about that with you. Last time I was here about a month ago, we talked about What is the biggest challenge?
We have a diversified group of salespeople.
You
Some of them are
certainly
younger,
do.
some of them are older, and they all handle leads differently. So if we just put the leads out there as sales managers and let it go and think that they're handling it correctly, that's where it's getting messed up. It involved you monitoring them way more. You've got to monitor the conversation, and we've tried to adopt the theory that that lead, pretend it's a customer sitting in front of you. Just pretend it's a customer in front
Absolutely.
of you. You still touch desk, you still get a game plan with your manager, with finance, whatever. Answer the questions that need answered, but when it's time to put a deal together, the old school thought was they have to come in. You got to get in the door, just get an appointment. You can't do that with this market anymore. People want numbers before they come into the store.
We talked about that,
Mhm.
okay? And I think the approach you just took is awesome. Pretend that the customer's here.
Yep.
I was recently at a dealership group in Bloomington, Indiana, and the dealer principal having the same problem. They came up with a thought that read, review, respond, video. What that meant was read the lead, review the lead, respond to the lead, and while responding to the lead, send a video of yourself making an introduction. Remember we talked about that? They do that, they have pretty good success with it, and I believe they use the same lead system that you use. And you know what? I know that you take some of these ideas I give you inside.
I do.
I know you do. That's the best part. That's the best part. That's why I kind of threw it out there. You know? But I think what you just said is awesome. Act as if that lead on the computer is sitting right in front of you, and hit the desk, and again, that think tank thing,
Yep.
you know, and then let's put something together and send it out. And I think the video thing hit you really hard.
Yeah, it did.
It's just a distinction.
Yeah.
So I get it. I'll be honest with you. I'm not honest with you, but I get the same from dealers all across the country. It's
Okay.
how we're handling leads. We got to remember, everybody, that you're in an area. If you're in a Chrysler dealership, you're probably using the same software that the other Chrysler dealership's using. Just like your Chevy dealership, using the same software that another Chevy dealership. And people don't just send the lead out to one person. They send their information out to various, numerous. And when I'm sitting at home, I just inquired about a Chevy Tahoe, and all of a sudden I get an email from Chevrolet, and I get it from ABZXY Chevrolet, and it's the same message. Thanks for.
Scripted, they just pick an email that's already pre-written and send it off.
But
Yep.
we don't do that here.
Nope.
Beautiful.
They have to individualize their responses.
Individualize, authenticate. That's beautiful. Let me ask you one more question. Okay, so the biggest challenge you'd see is leads. What are some of the easiest things that you do on the desk? What's the most fun thing you do on the desk?
Oh, just being with my salespeople, people that we work with, meeting the new customers. I think it's important to get involved early. Know who the person is behind the screen doing their numbers.
And it's not the green room, right? It's not like Wizard of Oz. Oh,
Right.
who's behind the green curtain?
Yeah.
And that's why you're always smiling. Because I never come
love
in
it.
here and you're not smiling. Seriously.
I hope
It's
you
a
never
pleasure
do.
to come in. I never will.
Good.
And your whole team's always smiling.
Yeah.
It really is. It's an awesome dealership to visit. Appreciate it, the information.
Thank you.
See you. Until next time, go get them. Thanks, Lenny. That was awesome. Beautiful.